Hi everybody, this is Bobby Chang and today I'm doing a deck profile on my Yu-Gi-Oh deck. So I call this my anti-meta deck. And that's my deck box right there. So for starters, I run three 1-up rabbit. This is the only 1-up monster I run in the deck. Basically, it's a fact. It's anytime I can just remove this rabbit from play, and then I can bring it back again. It's good to I will use torrential tribute, destroy all monsters and on the field, and before the all monsters are destroyed, I would remove the 1-up rabbit, and then he comes back doing my next standby phase. Also, I run 3 evilswarm thunderbird. So when call effect is activated with this card, I can banish this card and then return this card by this effect to the field during the next standby phase. So they will be actually doing my opponent's turn, and then this monster will also gain 300 attack as a result. So it will actually be 1950 plus with the 300 extra attack. So this is kind of like 1-up rabbit. I will activate something, or when my opponent try to destroy it with battle or anything, or with like dark hole or Rageki, I will just banish this card to save itself so that it can come back during her standby phase. I run 2 Expected Border to shut down my opponent's monster effects. So basically, unless there's at least a retro fusion single Z pendulum or link monster on the field, if there's none of those, my opponent cannot activate monster effects. And that's you can read it more if you like. Also, I run 3 fossil Donna Pego Fellow to negate and destroy my opponent's special summon. This monster prevents it prevents my opponent for special summoning, and if I flip it face up, when it's face down, it will destroy all special summon monsters on the field. But just to mention, when evilswarm thunderbird or 1-up rabbit comes back from the banished zone, it's not a special summon, so it will trigger things like they basically remove themselves and they bring themselves back, but when like 1-up rabbit or thunderbird bring itself back, it's not considered a special summon. They're basically just returning themselves to the field. And I run 1 Donald Russell Pink Tops just to pop spell traps. Oh, also because it's pretty strong on 2600, and it's basically a free summon if my opponent has more monsters than I do, then I can special summon this card. And I run 2 Thunder King Rao to shut down my opponent for searching any cards. And also I can pop Thunder King Rao to negate my opponent's special summon. And I run 1 Machine Lord Ru. This monster can attack all monsters my opponent control once each. And also it has 1600 attack and 1500 defense, which is pretty good. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 monsters. And this is a 42 card deck. For the rest of the deck, I run Terraforming to search my 4 field spells. I run Mystic Mind to shut down my opponent, Ancient Forest to what. So with this card, with my if a monster attacks, basically it will be destroyed at the end of that battle phase. But this works really good with my one-up rabbit and evilswarm thunderbird, because when they will be destroyed after battling, they will just tap themselves out, kind of like gladiator beasts, because they can remove themselves to prevent themselves from being destroyed. And then I run a seal of Orichalcos. This is just good because it gives all my monsters an extra 400 attack. And it has more effect you can read for yourself. And I run in Block Garden because with Block Garden, wherever a monster is normal or special summon, it will have its attack. So basically it'll be half as strong. And also it was special summon a Rose token. But the good thing about this is it also works really well with evilswarm thunderbird and one-up rabbit, because this card would not affect them. So when they bring themselves back after being gone, they come back at full strength. So evilswarm thunderbird will still be at 1950, while every monster my opponent summons will be at half their strength. So usually that means my monster can beat over his monster. And I run one twister just in case to pop any spell trap. And I run a Paw of Duality because I do not special summon that much in this deck. So Paw of Duality just helps with the consistency of the deck. I run a Monster Reborn to bring back like good monsters, mostly my opponent's monsters, because I have a Dark Hole to destroy monsters, Raggedy to destroy more monsters, and 2 Moon Mirror Shield to. This is just to make my monster all 100 points stronger than any of my opponent's monsters. And so this is basically a very good effect that helps my monsters like the Thunder King Rao to prevent from being run over by damage. I run a Dimensional Fissure just to remove monsters from the graveyard so that my opponent cannot use his graveyard, because I do not use my graveyard that much in this deck. I run a Call of the Mice just to help me get advantage, because with this card I can draw 3 cards and keep those 3 cards if I have like no but basically if I draw 3 cards I will have to send my entire hand to the grave. But since most of this deck is spells and traps, so I will basically just set all the 3 spell or traps I drew with Call of the Mind. So basically I will be just having a lot of advantage. And I run United We Stand to boost up my monsters. This card gives the equipped monster 800 extra attack for each monster I have on the field. I run Metaverse to be able to activate my field spell during my opponent's turn when they attack. I could Metaverse the Seal of Orichalcos and make my monster 400 points stronger with that field spell, and then that could destroy his attacking monster. I run a Solemn Warning to just basically to negate any special summons that would be, and it's really good because it can negate inherent and non-inherent special summons. I run compulsory evacuation device just for problematic monsters, but it does target. I run Bottomless Trap Hole just to banish any monsters before they can activate the effect. I run three torrential tribute to destroy all monsters on the field. Again, if I activate this where I have one rabbit or evilswarm thunderbird on the field, this will protect the torrential tribute will not affect those monsters because they can just remove themselves by their special effect. I run 2 Fainter Soul because this boosts my monsters up by 800 attack, and also it will make it so that if my monster will be destroyed by battle or card effect, this will protect them by destroying itself. I run 2 Mail Force because this does help me win games when it catch my opponent off guard. And I run a Mako Cosmo just to remove more monsters so that my opponent cannot use the graveyard. And for the extra deck, I basically have run Tornado Dragon to pop Spell Trap. I run a Breast Dweller if my opponent uses the graveyard a lot. I run Castillo, the Sky Blaster Musketeer, to just get rid of really big boss monsters. And I run a Silent Honor Arc. This card can protect itself and also get rid of big special summon monsters. So, and the rest of the extra deck, you could just put in whatever link monsters that you think would be good. But this deck does not special summon that much. It does not swarm the field. It's just to destroy your opponent with spell traps. So this deck is since it doesn't swarm the field, and whether it be that good idea to put a lot of link monsters like Link 4 that like Appaloosa that requires a lot of different materials. So and this is a 42 card deck, and I have money traps and a lot of spells and 15 monsters. And so thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe and so this is just my personal deck just for fun. So thank you very much and have a good day. And this is basically all the spell traps and the whole deck. I run 42 cards because if it gets to a grind game, I just want a little better chance that my deck doesn't run out of cards to draw. So, and there's a lot of different cards you can put in this deck. So, a lot of very good cards. I just put in the ones that I think is the most impactful. And with a card like Metaverse, so when my opponent attacks, I could activate Metaverse to activate seal off or recall ghost to give my monster 400 extra attack, and that might be able to stop his attack. So, and that's pretty much all I want to say. So thank you very much and have a good day.